August 1st, 2018. It is now 7:12 p.m. If you'll please stand and join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, under ceremonies, proclamations, and presentations, we have 18-338, retirement of Oregon City Police Canine Officer Flint. Mr. Chief Ban.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. Dan, could you and your partner maybe just come up front and center?
No more Flint Fridays, man.
So happy, it's what we working.
So I've got to just give a little bit of history here. One, I got to say about Dan, when we both came to work here about 20 years ago, there was no canine program here, and Dan pretty much started our canine program initially with one dog to what has now become 3 dogs, 2 we'll call them find people dogs, and 1 drug dog. And we've got a very robust program. Dan is actually a state trainer now, and really has done a ton of work pioneering this program for us. The interesting thing about the dog you see in front of you, I kind of have to tell both sides of him, because a lot of police dogs are good at one thing. They're either really good at finding people and biting them if they have to, or they're really good at being really nice. Rarely do dogs do both very well. I knew Dan's first dog was a fantastic dog and was really kind of a legend in the entire metro area. Dan started with Flint, and at the time I know he was kind of nervous about how this dog was going to respond when he first needed him, that first time that he ever had to really rely on him. And there was a guy who had some mental health issues, who was trying to take Dan's gun, and Dan told me about pushing the button on his belt and not knowing if what was supposed to happen was going to happen, because this was kind of the dog's first time.
So explain what happens when they push the button on the belt.
So he pushes the button on the belt, which pops the door open automatically, and the dog is trained to come out and go to work. And he did go to work. Took the suspect into custody, and but the good thing is Dan was quite confident that had he not done that, Dan would have shot the guy. And so while the downside was there was a bite, the upside is the guy lived through it, and in just about every circumstance, people who are bit, they never blame the dog. They never have an issue with the dog. And Dan even ran into this guy a few years ago, and the guy was asking how the dog was, and
where was the dog?
but I have to tell the other side of this dog, and fast forward a few years when I am not working next to Dan, but as a manager, and we're at a public event, and I look down and I see his dog face to face with a toddler who could barely stand. And every part of me got extremely nervous. And I said, Dan, look at this, get this dog away from the kid. He said, no, that he would never do a thing to that kid. Everything's fine. That was about 1,000 kids ago. And if you've ever been to an event and seen the number of kids that are hanging out with that dog flat on his back, and the fact that he has served this city so well, got so many people who needed to be caught, and at the same time is such a great way for us to interact with kids as much as anything else. It has just been an extremely incredible partnership, and but he's long in the tooth, and he's going to be retiring and be with Dan and his family.
Nice.
So, Mr. Mayor, do you have anything to say? And then got something for you to.
Yeah. So was Flint the one that took me down at National Night Out a couple years ago?
There was a line.
Flint's the only citizen of Oregon City who's ever physically attacked a man.
Smile on his face.
So, it's always sad to have an officer retire, but it's good to know that Flint's going to be in good hands. I've known the Shockley family for way longer than I can remember. I went to school with your sister way back in high school and junior high. So it's good to have you guys still here protecting our community, and we wish Flint all the best. there is something I want to ask the commission. We've got a plaque, and I'm going to go do that. But after that, I'd like you guys all to come up, and we'll get a picture of all of us with Flint and Officer Shockley. So the plaque says, for K-9 Flint, for 8 years of service, 2010 to 2018, in recognition of your faithful service and dedication to the citizens of Oregon City, the department, and Officer Shockley. You want to say something, Dan?
It truly has been an honor to actually work this dog, actually to be a part of this department, but also have the opportunity to do what I love more than anything, which is to work these dogs. It's a gift. I actually love it. It's a passion of mine, but it's also to have a dog like this that represents us so well. But being able to connect with the community the way he has been amazing. So it's a really hard day to actually accept that he's retiring, but I hope to find Flint 2.0 here soon when we come back to California. I know we can't replace him, but if we can get something even remotely close to what he is, it'll be a huge awesomeness. It'll be awesome for our department. So thank you guys for your support.
And thank you, Flint.
Katie. Who's taking the pictures, Katie?
Kristen.
Oh, you advocated your photography authority here.
That's right.
Get a couple on this side.
You think I'm turning dogs?
Okay, look right here, ready? 1, 2, 3, and one more. 1, 2, 3.
Dan, do you want one with the family in there?
Yeah. Let's have the family come up and get a picture. You stay here, go back.
What's that?
That's great.
I appreciate it.
I know you're in your pretty dresses.
Just got me.
Okay, right here, ready? 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Well done. Thank you.
Tried to get him reacted nationally after that. He wouldn't do that either. That's good. Okay, next up, one of my very favorite things to do, 18344, oath of office for Oregon City Police Department for Officer Alexander Mawson, Chief Man.
So good evening. We are not replacing the dog with a human.
Well, that's good because the dog doesn't get burred.
If you didn't catch too, we are going to be getting another dog you should be getting introduced to soon. So Alex Mawson, you want to come up front and center, please? Thank you. So this is Alex Mawson. We just hired him. He comes to us from Georgia. He is the first out-of-state lateral officer we've hired in a long time. He spent 10 years as a police officer in Georgia. He was, what city?
DeKalb County, Georgia, and then Emory University.
So DeKalb's this is a pretty big city. And then at Emory University, he ended up leaving there as a sergeant. He has a bachelor's degree in history. He's coming back here because his wife's from this area. And you have a daughter, is that correct?
I do, yes.
Okay, and they're still back in Georgia. They'd be here, but they're getting ready to move back. He's in training. We like hiring laterals as long as they're the right ones. They do not have to go to the entire police academy. He'll have to go down there for a couple of weeks. So without further ado, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, I'll be up there in a second, but I do want to say something to the Officer Mawson. You have the distinct privilege of joining one of the best police forces in the entire state of Oregon, and I do not hesitate. Any other mayor in the state wants to argue with me about that, they're welcome to give me a call. We've got the best rank and file, and certainly what I believe is the best senior staff of any police department in the state. So I just want you to know that up front. So with that, thank you, Mayor. Oh, it's here. Sorry, forgot. Turn it back circle a little bit. If you will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Alexander Mawson,
I, Alexander Mawson,
do solemnly swear that I will uphold the law,
do solemnly swear that I will uphold the law,
support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Oregon,
support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Oregon.
that I will abide by the law enforcement code of ethics
I will abide by the law enforcement code of ethics
and the department's rules and regulations,
and the department's rules and regulations,
while faithfully performing my duties as police officer for Oregon City, Oregon.
while faithfully performing my duties as a police officer for Oregon City, Oregon.
Congratulations and welcome to Force. Anything you want to say?
No, it's great to be here. I look forward to hopefully having a long career here, and I'm excited to be in Oregon City. Thank you.
So we're gonna get a picture for the wife and kids, and when they get here, if you wanna come back up and get a picture with them and the mayor and the commission, you're welcome to do that.
Shake hands.
Sure.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you. Too much time standing up today. Hello. Yeah. Two huge doors you got today. All right, so moving on, 18-343, Heritage Days updates by members of the Oregon City Heritage Coordinating Committee. And we have Ms. Thelma Hagenmiller and Reynold Baskins. Come on up.
Good evening, Mayor Holliday and Commissioners. My name is Thelma Hagenmiller. I am your neighbor from the unincorporated community of Oak Grove, a volunteer member of the Oregon City Heritage Coordinating Committee, and a citizen who is passionate about Oregon's pioneer history, Oregon City's heritage sites, and their positive impact on the community and on tourism. Wendell and I are here this evening on behalf of the Heritage Coordinating Committee to present a brief report on Oregon City Heritage Days. The successful two-day event highlighted Oregon City's rich history as the first incorporated city west of the Missouri River. Thanks to the dedication of numerous volunteers, we were able to offer free tours of 8 Oregon City heritage sites and museums to the public on June 22nd and 23rd of this year from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The complimentary shuttle buses departed every 15 minutes from participating sites. Guests were also free to drive their own vehicles and begin at any site along the tour. Participants were invited to start their journey at the end of the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center and Visitor Information Center, then hop the free shuttle for a guided tour of 8 participating heritage sites, including the William Holmes House, also known as Rose Farm, Stevens Crawford Heritage House, Francis Ermatinger House, the McLaughlin and Barclay Houses, the Museum of the Oregon Territory, the Oregon City Municipal Elevator, and Mountain View Pioneer Cemetery.
As participants arrived at each location, a greeter in period attire provided them with a passport booklet containing the history of each site, a map of the tour route, and instructions on how to have their booklets stamped. One of our volunteers designed the beautiful booklet to resemble an original journal from the Oregon Trail. Participants enjoyed collecting stamps and it proved an extremely popular aspect of the tour, especially for families with young children. Thanks to the leadership of Rolla and Marge Harding, we were able to secure status as a sanctioned Rose Festival event for the second year in a row. Volunteers in period clothing rode and walked alongside our Oregon Trail themed float, complete with a covered wagon and a pioneer family and with a baby in tow, announcing our June 22nd and 23rd events to approximately 500,000 parade goers. To underscore just how valuable this program is to Oregon City, here's a breakdown of the volunteer hours contributed to make this event a success. More than 30 volunteers of the Oregon City Heritage Coordinating Council contributed their time by attending monthly planning meetings, creating promotional materials and handouts, promoting the Heritage Days through social media, event listings, flyer distribution, and community outreach, planning and participating in the Rose Festival Grand Floral Parade, serving as Heritage Day greeters and tour guides, and handing out and tabulating feedback forms. At the standard of $24.69 per volunteer hour contributed, this amounts to $16,300 in volunteer value provided to the city.
In addition, we know Oregon City Heritage events like this add significant value by attracting visitors who spend and contribute to local businesses. Recent studies show that cultural and heritage experiences are important factors in attracting visitors to Oregon and to Oregon City. A 2009 study for the U.S. Travel Association showed that 78% of all U.S. leisure travelers participate in cultural and/or heritage activities. These 118.3 million adults spend an average of $994 per trip, contribute more than $192 billion annually to the national economy, typically stay 53% longer, and spend 36% more money than other kinds of tourists. In addition, cultural and heritage travelers as a whole are more frequent travelers, reporting an average of 5.01 leisure trips in the past 12 months. A 2012 study of heritage cultural travelers organized by the Oregon Heritage Commission found that cultural heritage travelers spend $1,618 per trip, nearly 16% more per person than they do nationally. These travelers contributed an estimated $19.6 billion to the state economy on their most recent trip to the state.
We provided each individual or family participating in the Oregon City Heritage Days with an evaluation form, which they turned in at any of the sites on the tour. A tally of the responses gathered from the 65 forms turned in provided us with some valuable information. We transported almost 200 people to the various sites. Many other visitors drove personal vehicles to the sites. 49 of 65 visitors who turned in forms came from Portland and the surrounding area. 5 came from outside of Portland metro area. 11 out-of-state visitors participated from Washington, California, Utah, Florida, Maine, Minnesota, and England. Many participants reported eating at restaurants and shopping in downtown Oregon City. Guests indicated an overall satisfaction with their experience and would like to see these Heritage Day events continue. A detailed breakdown of the responses is provided in an addendum to this report. As you can see, the Oregon City Heritage Days was a rollicking success. We thank you for providing us with the resources for this event, including one of your transport buses. We urge you to continue supporting the Oregon City Heritage activities, which are so vital to the spirit of our community and the economic health of local businesses and heritage sites. Thank you for the time. Any questions? Ms. Strong.
So I had an opportunity to visit the Rose Farm that weekend and hadn't been there for years. And before I could even walk in the door, I looked over and here was one of the wagons that was from the Curtis Museum. Is that correct, Wendell?
Yes, sir.
And Wendell was there giving a full description on what that wagon was all about and the trials and tribulations that people went through with that wagon or with their wagons when they came across that trail. It's very interesting. I appreciate what you did that day, so.
Thank you.
But that Curtis Museum is also looking for space too, just to let everybody know here.
Yes.
They'd like to find a location for that.
And if I could, with some thank you, I'd like to really thank the city of Oregon City for the donation of the bus and time. It put in that fourth bus and it just made everything flow a little more easily to get visitors there. I appreciate all the commissioners and employees who took part in as participants or visitors. Glad to see you. And extend the thank you publicly to the Curtis Heritage Education Center for the vehicles, one at Moot and one at the Rose Farm. The one at the Rose Farm was a 175-year-old wagon that had not been refurbished. And we're looking forward to working with the city leadership and Oregon City's 175th birthday that's coming up very rapidly next year.
All right.
And in addition to recognizing the contribution of Margin Ralla Harding, without whom this program wouldn't exist, I would like to issue a special recognition to Jim Austin of the Tourism Development Council of Clackamas County for the statistical data in the economic impact of heritage tourism, and also to Jan Lindstrom of Community Minded Marketing, who pulled this presentation together for Wendell and I.
Any other questions, comments?
My wife and I attended this event last year, and I'll tell you, the volunteers brought history alive. And you, sir, were phenomenal at the Rose Farm, unforgettable. So keep up the good work.
This Saturday, we'll have a Civil War reenactment there.
I tend to pay attention to anybody who carries a possibles bag, because I know what's in them.
So could the rest of the folks that are with this organization, please just stand so we can recognize you? Thanks very much for coming, appreciate it.
Thank you.
So Commissioner Ide has asked for a minute.
Yes. I just would like to make an announcement that Renata Mengelberg, Commissioner Mengelberg, has retired from her position at the City of Canby as of yesterday. And today is her first day as a retired free woman. And I just wanted to congratulate her and welcome her to this.
Not totally free.
Yeah, sure. The citizen. Here we go, Ron.
And this is her husband, Gerald.
She should
Be scared, Renata.
Renata's husband.
So name and city of residence for the record, please.
You want my
Just
serial number and everything? Gerald Dietz. And Renata and I have been together for about 25 years. And I went to a gathering in Canby yesterday in her departure. Today is her first day of retirement. And it's like the city manager says, people don't realize what she has accomplished in all these years when she worked for the county and for the city. She created industrial parks for like Estacada and Mola and places like she brought in big business, prevailing wages, healthcare. And like the city manager says, the footprint she leaves, people today will not realize what she has done. And they won't know in the future what she has accomplished for them. And I've been very proud to watch her in this process over all these years and what she has accomplished. And she's a very quiet person. She doesn't take praise. But yeah, she's done so many things. She's been on the Metro Board. She was the president for the Northwest Economic Development, 2 provinces of Canada, 7 states, and they still talk about her. She is an unsung hero, and she's done so many good things for people. And I'm proud to say she's my wife. And that's why I want to come up and present.
I do have to remind folks that Renata also, was it last year, won the State Economic Developer Award for the state?
Yes.
And on a personal note, most of you know that Betty and I have a business out in Canby, and we would not have survived the last couple of years without Renata's help. We kind of had to bounce around a couple times as they're building this new building out here, and we'd go one place and then they'd put us somewhere else, and then we'd go someplace else, and we finally got our permanent home in Canby just beginning this month. And again, none of that would have happened without Renata's help. I'm sure there might have been somebody else there, but not somebody I could call on the phone and they'd answer, so I appreciate it. Anybody else?
Yes, congratulations, Renata.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's a big day.
Okay, and there's one last thing. Very often, folks in the city that work for us only get complaints, and so when I get something that's positive, I like to let folks know. So I got this letter. It's Jason Thornburg. I assume Jason. Who does Jason work for?
Matt Paulison in
So
the
it's
streets.
John Lewis,
Yep.
Martin Montalvo, okay. Dear Mr. Mayor, we would like to take this opportunity to recognize Jason Thornburg. When we received a notice regarding the slurry project, the slurry seal on the street that these folks live on, I called and spoke with Jason, who provided the dates to complete the Castleberry Loop. We were concerned that since the dates coincided with our 50th wedding anniversary celebration, which had been planned for a number of months, with Jason's assurances, the party went on as scheduled. He was fully empathetic with our dilemma. He's a credit to himself, and the city of Oregon City should be duly recognized. Chuck and Sharon Mora. So I just wanted to give Jason. And with that, we will continue on with the regular agenda. If I can find it underneath all these papers. So we're on to citizen comment. Do we have anybody?
Yes, Mike Mitchell.
Commissioner Mitchell.
Mike Mitchell, I'm an Oregon City resident. Just very briefly, on behalf of the Downtown Oregon City Association, two of our critical and great summer events going on this weekend, the Oregon Trail Brew Fest Saturday and Sunday, and the Oregon Trail 5K Run on Sunday. And part of the reason I'm here, we are short on volunteers for both of those events. So anybody here in the room or the giant listening audience at home, please volunteer. Either you can do it on the DOCA website, or call the DOCA office, and we would love to have more volunteers. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Katie?
No.
Okay, so moving on, everybody okay with the agenda?
Yes.
18-358, first reading of ordinance number 18-1011, annexation of .96 acres at 19405 South End Road, finding file AN-18 0001, Ms. Turway.
Thank you very much. Legal disclosures will be provided by our city attorney, followed by a staff report by Pete Walter, our planner at the city.
Thank you. As you know, this is a land use matter, and so there are a number of things that we need to make sure everybody knows. First, this is a land use decision and it has applicable criteria. Those criteria are identified in the staff report, copies of which were online and are at the back of the room. If anybody wants me to let them know what they are, please let me know. All testimony, arguments, and evidence must be directed toward those criteria or other criteria in the planner code that a person believes apply. Failure to raise an issue accompanied by statements or evidence sufficient to afford the city commission and the parties an opportunity to respond to that issue would preclude an appeal to the Land Use Board of Appeals based on that issue. And in addition, if the applicant failure of the applicant to raise constitutional or other issues relating to proposed conditions of approval with sufficient specificity to allow the commission or its designee to respond to the issue will preclude an action for damages in circuit court. With that, I'd like to first ask if anybody objects to the commission's jurisdiction to hear this matter. Seeing none, I'd then ask the commissioners if there are any ex parte contacts, conflicts of interest, or bias that you would like to note for the record.
I have none.
I don't think so.
No.
This isn't Savage.
No, it's not the Savage.
Okay, then no.
Any objections to any of the commissioners participating in this matter? Seeing none, let's proceed with the staff report.
Thank you. File AN 1801 is submitted by the owners of the property at 19405 South End Road in order to receive city sewer connection following a septic system failure. The property is located on the north side of South End Road, approximately a quarter-mile south of McLaughlin Elementary School, and identified as Clackamas County Map 31E 12B, Tax Lot 1301. Here are the basic facts regarding the property. At this time, this is just an annexation. The owners have not requested rezoning to R5, which is the default zoning for annexing properties with a planned designation of medium-density residential. There are no proposals to further develop the property at this time. It is part of the South End Concept Plan, and it consists of one tax lot of just under an acre. There are 3 dwellings on the property and 6 registered voters. It's contiguous to the city limits. It's within our urban growth boundary. The annexation would not create any county islands of any kind, and it has a comprehensive plan designation. This 2017 aerial photo shows the location of the property and the 3 dwellings. As you can see, it's a flag lot with contiguity to the city along South End Road, which is where the city sewer line is. This is Oregon City's comprehensive plan policy, which provides guidance to expedite the processing of annexations that have sanitary septic system failure, by sending the request directly to the City Commission. So I point that policy out because this is how we implement it, by taking it straight to you. The applicant has received a public works permit to connect to the city's sewer line in South End Road via a sanitary sewer lateral on private property. And that on-site permit's issued by Clackamas County, and the city permits the work in the public right-of-way.
Pete, is the city limits close to this, or where is it at right now?
Yeah, it's right at the tip of the flag lot where it touches South End Road is the city limit. It's about 25 feet.
But the north or south side?
No.
So this is kind of just by itself?
It's by itself right there,
Okay.
but it is contiguous.
So the red sewer line that you're showing going to 19406, that's
409.
409,
Yeah.
that's the one that has the failing septic system. The other 2 buildings on the property are not, they don't have that situation.
Well, they're connected to that system too. But the old system was a septic field in the middle of the property. And so there's lines on the property that connect to that line.
So they would all be served by this new line?
Yes.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you're saying everything surrounding this except for that little section at South End Road is Clackamas County?
Yes, that's right.
Including that cul-de-sac?
The subdivision across the street is Oregon City. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, where Minuet Court and Fandango Drive is. Yeah. And the city right of way, the city limit goes all the way across the right of way of South End Road.
Okay.
To the north side. Under Senate Bill 1573, the annexation meets all of the criteria listed here and must be annexed without a vote of the city electors. As I mentioned, it is within an urban growth boundary, and it is part of our comprehensive plan. It's contiguous to our city limit, and it meets all of our ordinances for annexation. The district and boundary changes associated with this, the territory would be removed from the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office Enhanced Law Enforcement District and served by the Oregon City Police Department. It would remain in the school district, the fire district, and the Clackamas River Water District. and it is required to annex separately to the Tri-City Sewer Service District.
Why would it remain in Clackamas River Water?
The reason for that is we are currently working with Clackamas River Water to sort out a variety of properties where there was overlapping jurisdiction, and the outcome of that will be a future annexation or de-annexation process to clean up all of those properties in one go.
We can get that done next year?
I would need to talk to John Lewis about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm. Code criteria for an annexation are in Oregon City Municipal Code 14.04.060. They're listed here. They include adequacy of access to the site, conformity to the comprehensive plan, adequacy and availability of public facilities, compliance with relevant statutes and Metro Code, acknowledgement of any potential impact to natural hazards or wetlands, floodplains, and steep slopes, and cultural and natural resources. And finally, effects on the economic, social, and physical environment of the community. So staff has analyzed the application, and we believe that this annexation represents a positive balance of those factors. And for that reason, we are recommending to the City Commission that you approve the annexation and the first reading of Ordinance 18-1001. And by doing so, you will be adopting staff's recommended findings, reasons for decisions, and recommendations. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Questions? Okay, I'm going to open the public hearing. This is a public hearing, right?
Yes.
Yes. Is the applicant here?
I spoke to them this afternoon. I don't know if they're actually here tonight.
I'll ask, is the applicant here? The applicant is not here. So is there any other public people that want to testify? And I will close the public hearing and we will deliberate. Questions, concerns, motion?
Move to approve 18-358, first reading of ordinance number 18-1011, annexation of 0.96 acres on 19405 South End Road, planning file AN 18-0001.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Mengelberg, seconded by Commissioner Shaw. Mr. Geisman.
Ordinance number 18-1011, an ordinance of the City of Oregon City approving annexation proposal number AN 18-0001 and approving the annexation of certain property located at 19405 South End Road to the City of Oregon City.
Call a roll.
Commissioner Ide?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw?
Aye.
Commissioner Mengelberg?
Aye.
Mayor Holliday?
Aye.
Moving on to, this is general business, PC 18-10103, second reading of ordinance number 18-1010, remand of Land Use Board of Appeals court decision for planning files PZ 1501, comprehensive plan amendment, and ZC 15-03, zone change located near Big Road and Highway 213, Ms. Turway.
Thank you very much. As you recall, the City Commission already approved the first reading of this ordinance. I'm here to answer any questions that you have.
Questions, concerns, motion?
Move to approve second reading of ordinance number 18-1010.
Second reading, final adoption.
Second reading, final adoption.
Thank you.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Shaw, seconded by Commissioner Mengelberg. Mr. Weisman.
Ordinance number 18-1010, an ordinance of the City of Oregon City amending the comprehensive plan map in Title 17, zoning chapter 17.06.020, the official zoning map of the Oregon City Municipal Code by changing the designations of the following properties. Clackamas County Map 3-2E-04C, tax lot 700, 702, 900, 1201, 1400 from the MR Medium Density Residential Comprehensive Plan designation to the MUC Mixed Use Corridor Comprehensive Plan designation from the R3.5 Dwelling District zoning designation to the MUC2 Mixed Use Corridor District zoning designation. Clackamas County Map 3-2E-04C, tax lot 30.
You got it.
Tax lot 1303-2E-04CD, tax lot 6,000 from the LR Low Density Residential Comprehensive Plan designation to the MUC Mixed Use Corridor Comprehensive Plan designation, and from the R6 Single Family Dwelling District R zoning designation to the MUC 2 Mixed Use Corridor District zoning designation, and Clackamas County Map 3-2E-04C, tax lot 1,500, 1,603-2E-04CD, tax lot 3,300, 5,900, 6,000 from the LR Low Density Residential Comprehensive Plan designation to the MUC Mixed Use Corridor Comprehensive Plan designation, from the R10 Single Family Dwelling District zoning designation to the MUC 2 Mixed Use Corridor District zoning designation.
Call roll.
Commissioner Ide?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw?
Aye.
Commissioner Mengelberg? Aye. Mayor Holliday?
Aye. So last on the list is 18-363, Resolution 18-24, calling for an election to authorize the use of portions of John Storm Park and Sportcraft Boat Ramp Park under Section 41 of the Oregon City Charter, adopting a ballot title and conditionally rescinding Resolution 1818. Mr. Phil Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Commission. I'd like to invite at this time up representatives from Oregon Department of Transportation. We have with us Tom Hanstra, ODOT Project Manager, and Brian Bauman, HDR Associate. As you recall, at a recent commission meeting, we approved resolution number 1818, which would send to the vote of the people a question in regards to the temporary and permanent use of park space at John Storm Park and Sportcraft Boat Landing Park. At that time, ODOT did not have information to move forward in a way where they thought they would need permanent easements on the property. Information that they've received since our previous meeting with the commission is that they will need a permanent subsurface easement, approximately 60 feet underground, and it would not impact the usability of the park space in a permanent capacity, but would require an easement so that, because it is affecting the soil conditions of the subsurface area of the park. So with that, the current resolution 1824 would replace the previous resolution 1818. And with that, I have opened up for any questions or comments, and we have staff here to answer questions as well.
Any questions by the commission?
No.
All right. Do we hear a motion?
Commission President Mengelberg, I do, if I could, I do want to point out one interesting thing about this because of the time compression when things have to be submitted to the county. Section 4 on page 2 of the ordinance, basically what it says, if there's a challenge to this ballot title, then this resolution will become null and void. But if there is no challenge, then 1818 will get, then the 1818 will be rescinded. So the voters will only see one of these measures. Assuming no ballot title challenge, and we have no reason to expect one, this will be what the voters see. But if somebody challenges it, then the one that you've already approved would go to the voters. Probably not gonna matter, but it's just an unusual feature of this that I wanted to make sure the commission was aware of.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Okay.
So what's the next step in the process?
So staff are recommending adoption of the resolution.
All right. Do we have a motion?
Is this public hearing?
No.
There's no public hearing.
So, okay. I don't have any questions. I think it's a go here.
I move to approve resolution number 18-24, calling for an election to authorize the use of portions of John Storm Park and Sportcraft Boat Ramp Park under Section 41 of the Oregon City Charter, adopting a ballot title and conditionally rescinding resolution number 18-18.
Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Ide, seconded by Commissioner Shaw. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Ide?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw?
Aye.
Commissioner Mengelberg?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right. Is any commissioner wishing to pull something from the consent agenda?
No.
Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Please call the roll. Oh, it's been moved by Commissioner Ide, seconded by Commissioner Shaw. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Ide?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw?
Aye.
Commissioner Mengelberg?
Aye.
Mayor Holliday?
Aye. I'd like the record to reflect that I was an aye vote on the last item on the agenda.
Okay.
What?
The resolution?
Yeah.
Okay.
So through the consent agenda, Mr. Manager, you have anything?
We just did that one.
No, we did the consent agenda, but not the manager.
We're in communications now.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a few quick items. The first two are fun items. Boy, Oregon City does a lot of fun things for the community. We talked about Heritage Days, talked about Oregon Trail Brew Fest and the 5K run. And also this Friday is Movies in the Park. We'll begin Friday, August 3rd, and we'll run for 4 weeks through August 24th. The first movie is Beauty and the Beast at Wesley Lynn Park. The movies all start at dusk, and which is about 8:30 p.m. When the lights get lower, we'll be able to see the movies better. And this year, we're rotating through various locations at Wesley Lynn Park, Chapin Park, and End of the Oregon Trail. Other movies are Moana, Back to the Future, and Coco. All right, and then next Tuesday is National Night Out, August 7th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the former Mount Pleasant Elementary School and soon to be home of our future, our new police department. So you can partake in those activities on Tuesday, and that's located on Lynn Avenue. There'll be free parking at the First Evangelical Presbyterian Church, as well as Oregon City Evangelical Church.
And no work session.
Pardon?
And no work session.
And there's no work session next week, so you all get the night off.
Okay.
Well earned. And at that event, the National Night Out, there'll be a band. There might be a couple of bands, I guess. Chief Band and a real band.
That was worthy of air.
That was on the fly. Okay, so then there'll be hot dogs and fun activities for the kids. And it's really a great way to celebrate. You know, our police department does a great job of celebrating community with the residents at that event. So look forward to seeing folks there, hopefully. And then finally, a quick business item. You have on your dais some information from the League of Oregon Cities, and that is a request for you to take some action, which is to identify what are your priorities for the League's top political priorities for this season. And they've also asked this year to have not only your top priorities, but your 4 least favorite items. So on the second page of the handout there is, please, if you would put an X for your recommendations for the top priorities. And on the last page is an X for the items that you would least like the city to pursue.
So are they asking us as a city commissioner, as individuals?
As individuals, that will influence what we submit to the League of Oregon Cities. And also, Lisa sent out an email on Monday, so you could respond via email, hopefully by tomorrow, or you could put X's out there tonight before you go home, and that would be much appreciated. And there's also some recommendations that staff had for you to review there as well. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go down the line. Commissioner Shaw, you have anything for us?
Well, our temporary city manager was remiss in noting that there's a concert in the park tomorrow night. You know, that attends 2,500
My apologies.
people.
Thank you, Commissioner Shaw.
I thought I'd put that out there.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Well, it's that will be the Tom Petty tribute band. So anyway, I thought I would bring that up, you know, because that's a few people in here do partake in that. So
thank you, sir. That's a big deal.
the only other thing I had was that I've got Katie going to start working. I think Katie's going to get with Mayor Holliday on this, but in October, make sure that we address Teen Traffic Safety Month. So because they want to have a little presentation from the driver's training group. We'll do a presentation that month. So I think Katie's going to work with you, Mayor Holliday, to get that set up. So
Maybe we can get a new blooper reel from the unmarked traffic cars.
Yeah.
Do that.
That's all I got.
I'm personally excited that 15th Avenue is finally done paving. It's really nice, and I'd like to thank our Public Works folks for getting that done for us.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
So I attended last weekend the Trails Dinner and the Trail Band at the end of the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center. And it was excellent. It was in celebration of the 175th anniversary of the Oregon Trail. It was very well attended. The dinner was phenomenal. I think we should do this every year. It was that great. Anyway, that and attended the open house for the equitable housing group, and which was excellent, most excellently done by the planning department. Anxious to see the results of that coming up. And also attended the monthly affordable housing task force sponsored by the county, continuing to come up with a plan in which to make an advisement to the county commissioners on how to move forward with affordable housing in the county. And then just one last thing, something pretty exciting. The Homeless Solutions Coalition of Clackamas County is going to be working with the Oregon City Police Department. We don't have all the final plans in place yet, but we're going to be helping with providing volunteers to help with homeless cleanup camps. And been working with Nancy Bush and Chief Band to get that going. We had mighty people rise up and being willing to move forward and help clean up these camps. So I just wanted to make sure that y'all knew that was happening. And that's it.
Commissioner O'Donnell, you don't have anything?
Pardon me?
You don't have anything?
Unless you want me to report on West, and that was just a brief.
No,
10
don't
minutes.
report on West.
Not
I
want to,
already
so-
sent an email. So.
Okay, so I read it, so let's just leave it.
I only had a couple things. I have to look at my calendar. Oh, I attended the Oregon City Business Alliance luncheon along with, you were there, Commissioner Shaw, weren't you?
I'm sorry.
And they're doing a couple of this last month and then this next month on growth and development, traffic and other kinds of things. And it's kind of a broad-based forum of several folks from, Oregon City and the county and other officials, and getting some feedback from those folks on where growth is going and how it's happening. And the second one is on housing, and it's this was the last Tuesday of the month?
Fourth Tuesday.
Fourth Tuesday, thank you for the Paying Gallery. And I also attended by telephone the Willamette Falls Legacy Project Partners meeting. The only thing I have to report out to that is that part of I believe it's Section 106 permitting process for the Corps of Engineers, the Corps was not happy with the fact that they wanted to have 30% design drawings. We thought we were going to be able to get by without that, so we're going to spend some money that we had already budgeted to spend, just hadn't budgeted to spend it quite so soon. So it's about $350,000 of design work to be able to get those plans for the Riverwalk to 30% completion to get the permit from the Corps to move forward. Beyond that, that's all I have. I do want to say one thing. I've been watching television and social media for the last year or so, and following up from earlier this evening, I want to say that we don't have the problems with our police agency that other cities throughout the United States have. I think our citizenry has a really good relationship with our police force. I think our police force does an excellent job at community policing. I've had contacts with a lot of folks who got a speeding ticket or had some contact, and without failure, unless it's something really bad, all I get is positives from our citizenry that the officers were kind and considerate and polite and yet firm, and the goal of our guys are to get people to do the right thing, not necessarily to write a ticket. So once again, Chief, I wanted to say thank you to you and your guys for the work that you do out there. Is anything for the good of the order? Then we're adjourned.